Hello, this is Brennan Wilmington from the Left Turn Network, and welcome back to another Lumen Stock Invitational Series race, season number 5, race number 7, and we are at our third mile and a half of the season. We've gone to Atlanta, we've gone to Homestead, and now we're here at the Kansas Speedway in Kansas City for a 67 lap event at one of the other tracks that we have ran every single season. So these drivers definitely very acclimated to this racetrack by this point. We're expecting a good one here today. Joining me in the booth this week is Echo Evans Ross for the first time this season. And Echo, glad to have you back. You called a couple of races last year. What are you expecting from this race here today?
Well, this track is always a bit chaotic. And every other time I see this track, it's usually always just kind of ends up going off the rails a bit. So hopefully these drivers will have enough to keep themselves from going too far off the rails. But this race is it's going to be very competitive. They're going to be going after each other quite a bit. I think this is going to be a fun race. If they keep their heads straight, I think this will be a very good race. If they don't, who knows?
Absolutely. And looking at some of our driver storylines heading into this race, we've got a very interesting front row. Tyler Landry won the pole last week at Phoenix as well, if I'm not mistaken. So this is his second pole in a row. And Jacob Lopez ended up winning that race. Now they're starting on the front row. You've got a couple of other strong cars up in the top 10, including Alnita Kim, the points leader, who has taken the series by storm this year. 3 of the last 4 races, she has finished on the podium. Uh, if I'm one of the other drivers here trying to run down Alnita Kim, what do you think is the best strategy to try and win this race and gain some ground on her?
Well, Kim, what? She's a rookie, right?
She is a rookie.
Yeah. So I think that's one thing you're gonna have to look at is I don't think that boost may come in. You know, she's got that strong boost, but I'm not sure if that's gonna keep going the whole season for Alnita Kim. If you're one of those drivers, you just got to be patient. You just have to work them basically just be more patient than they are, and I think it's going to be a lot easier to press them into making a mistake as opposed to just trying to attack them and hope for the best every time. I think that's how you got to do it. You got to be patient.
Absolutely. We've seen a lot of very impressive rookie seasons over the course of LSCI. Jake Sidney last year was one of them. Back in season 2, Tyler Landry and Kobe Hollenbeck were both competing for the championship, and both of them ended up losing out on it for that exact reason. Jacob Lopez ended up striking at the very end and winning that championship. But on the front row is Landry and Lopez, like we've already pointed out. Both had pretty strong runs at Phoenix. Landry didn't quite get the best result, finished 13th, but he had a solid run regardless. Definitely up from where he was last year, or earlier in the season, I should say. And alongside him, like we mentioned, last week's winner, Jacob Lopez. He has won at Kansas before. He won in season 3. So got to keep that in mind for later in the race. Then we got a pair of Columbia Motorsports Toyotas. It is Alnita Kim in the 79 alongside the 39 car of Lakin Herndon. Then you got the 77 of JT Boyd alongside the 62 of Vinny Scholes. 2 more Toyotas. Toyota's been off to a much better start than they were last year. Then you've got the 10 car of Simon Lawrenson with a great qualifying run in the Checkered Flag Racing Ford. And alongside him is the 3 car of George Bryan. And rounding out the top 10 is Cooper Spur in the 24 and the 32 car of Kate Summers. And you've got Holly Martin driving the number 27. And an interesting note is that the 27 is actually ahead of the 77 in points, which I'm pretty sure in the 5 years that this team has existed, to my knowledge, that's the first time that's ever happened. Alongside Holly Martin is the 40 of Adrian Wheeler. Then we've got Jake Sidney in the 19 and the 6 car of Laurie Jackson, who finally had a good run at Phoenix, ended up finishing 7th with some good tire strategy. Then it's the 99 car of Akiya Tajima alongside the 70 of Damon Kirby. It's the 81 of Jack Gino and the 88 of Billy Smith. In row number 10 is the Blake Everett teammates, Ashley Blake and Shauna Everett. Then it's the 29 car of JB Chanot and the 85 of Charlie McCarran. The 58 car of Paula Sasiqua and the 55, or that's not Paula Sasiqua, my bad. I was thinking of the Toyotas again. So Sequa's not in this race. That's Joanna Clark in the 58. Alongside the 58 car is Michael Harvin in the 55. Then a new driver, Ben Tachenko in the number 9. This is the second straight week that the driver of the 9 is a new driver. Although, unlike Mikey Fox last year, Ben Tachenko has been racing in the amateur series this year. He won at Atlanta, so you know he knows how to get it done on the mile and a halves. But, Cup Series is a whole different beast for sure. And we'll see how Ben Tachenko does here today. Alongside him is the 15 car of Nathan Buchanan. Then it's the 5 car, Cassidy Jones, making her first Cup start of the season. And it is at her home track at Kansas Speedway, so you know she's got to be thrilled to be in this race. Alongside her is the 41 car of Karina Willis Calloway. Got the 2 of Kobe Hollenbeck and the 16 of Corbin Taps. Then it's the 18 of Zach Dearman and the 1 of Tim Berry. Couple of Motor Racing Ventures cars, Walker Brothers Racing, my bad, wrong team. Kevin DuPont in the 98 and the 8 of Darren Walker. And rounding out the field is the Motor Racing Ventures car, the 45 of James Harvin, and the 92 car of Adrienne Pearson. 2 D&Qs today, the 65 of Wesley Shelton for the second time. That 65 car has been struggling to make races no matter who's in it. Only it made 2 of the first 7 races, and then the 64 was entered with Lucas Forster, but they also failed to qualify. Gonna be a 67-lap race, expecting 2 pit stops here. You definitely get cautions in this race, especially early on. This track is very susceptible to early yellows, so gotta keep an eye out for that as this race starts.
Drivers, start your engines!
And the field will roll off the backstretch here at the Kansas Speedway. No issues on the firing up. Echo, who's your pick to win the race today at Kansas?
Well, I think I'm gonna take Alnita Kim. She's got a really fast start to the season. Did really well in the amateur series last year, and she won the last mile and a half track we went to, which was Homestead. So this is a track that runs pretty similar to that. I think I'm taking Kim again here.
Yeah, Alnita Kim, the points leader. She has been on a flyer to start off the season. She will be starting from the 4th position here on the outside lane, but it will be Tyler Landry and Jacob Lopez leading them to the green. We are underway here at the Kansas Speedway. Coming out of turn number 4 to end lap number 1, side by side between the 50 and the 66. It looks like Landry led the first lap, but Lopez has the momentum. He pulled a mean crossover on that 66 car in turns 3 and 4. And Lopez is picking up right where he left off last week. And he is taking the lead in that 50 car, but Landry wants to try and make the same move, but he's not close enough to do it, and the 50 will keep first.
Yeah, not close enough right now as Landry, but Landry may get the run to get back to that 50 car. See the 62, Vinny Schultz up here as well. That's, I think the 39, that's Lakin Herndon, I believe.
That is Lakin Herndon in the 39 car, getting blocked by the 62 there. Almost had an opportunity to get underneath. George Bryan, JT Boyd have kind of pulled away in this little group of 6. Then you got Jake Sidney, and then side by side between Kate Summers and Simon Lawrenson back here inside the top 10. It was a great qualifying run for Lawrenson. We'll see if he can hold on to it. He's got Alnita Kim right on his back bumper. And there's a lot of action going on in the middle of the pack, as is to be expected here at Kansas. Got to be careful not to wreck it. Corbin Taps, James Harvin, Adrian Pearson 3 wide, and more 3 wide further back in the field. But they're keeping it clean so far. Bit sketchy there into turn 3 with the 85, but they are going to get through it. But Jacob Lopez is pulling away. This is exactly what he did at Phoenix. Again, just leaving off, just picking up right where he left off here at Kansas Speedway. And they're battling for third here pretty hard. Herndon and Schultz side by side as Landry tries to pull away for second.
They're still side by side there, but that's gonna be interesting. Are we gonna see the outside lane kick in? Because at this track, it's kind of not really, the outside lane usually takes a while if it even does kick in here. So that's gonna be something I think is gonna be very key to watch. But I don't think Herndon's doing a good job holding the outside because he's just let Schultz go by, and now JT Boyd has gone by as well in the 77.
Yeah, one other thing to note, it is unseasonably cold here in Kansas. It's the middle of May, but it's only 58 degrees. And a lot of cloud cover over the track as well, so it's going to be pretty grippy out here. As a sharp contrast to how it was at Phoenix last week, where it was in the 90s and it was very slippery, and you saw cars all over the racetrack. But Vinny Scholes is charging up to the back of Tyler Landry here. Gap about half a second between the leader and second, and Scholes is going to try and take second. Gets underneath the 66 of Landry. They're going to be side by side off of 4. There you see Landry rolling the top on exit, trying to carry that momentum through the tri-oval. He's not quite clear yet, and I think this battle will continue into 1. No, Landry does clear the 62 going into the corner.
Yeah, I thought Vinny had a great run there, but Landry just managed to use the outside just well enough. You can get it to stick if you stay low enough where it's the outside, but not necessarily right on the wall here. It's kind of the thing with the way that this track has grip, especially when it's cold like this, because there's a lot of grip down low on the track.
JT Boyd, Lakin Herndon in the top 5. Battle back here. A lot of Toyotas up here. Like I mentioned at the start, Toyota is having a great start to the season. They've already got 3 wins. One of them from Alnita Kim. JB Chanot also got one of them at Coda. And then Paula Sasico, of course, won the 100th LSCI race on fuel mileage. So very strong start to the season. Last year, they won 3 races all season as an entire manufacturer, so you know they've turned things around in the Toyota camp for sure. You're seeing several of them up here in the top 10. Oh, Kim checks up there. She was headed straight for the quarter panel of that 29, so had to let off there, but still green 10 laps in, no issues, but this 66 is starting to close in a little bit on that 50 car, and I think we're going to have a battle for the lead here very soon.
Very soon, and the 62 is within a second of the 50 as well. So this could be a 3-way battle for the lead if these two get tied up for a decent amount of time. Could drag Vinny Schultz right in there. Maybe JT Boyd might get a little bit of a run too. He's only 1.2 back of these 3.
Yeah, and this isn't like some of the other mile and a halves where they're kind of all over each other. You can pull away for a decent amount of times. He can't get away too far from what I've seen, but it is possible to kind of do that. But Landry is there. Lopez trying to cover the bottom, but that 66 has some rapid pace right now. Will he try and make the move into turn number 3 on lap 12? He's trying to peek the nose under, but Lopez is doing a great job defending. He gets a good run off the corner, and he's going to open up that lead just a little bit, give himself a little more time up there. And these are 2 of our best drivers that we've got. Jacob Lopez has 7 career wins. Tyler Landry has 5. Or no, he has 8 now after his win at Phoenix. So 13 wins between the 2 of them. You know, these are 2 of our best. And this battle's definitely not over yet, especially if the 62 is going to insert herself into this battle too. She's waiting in the wings if these 2 start going side by side.
Yeah, and the 50 kind of looks like he's kind of manipulating the arrow a little bit because Landry's been able to get up to the 50, but the 50 gets down in the corners, down to the inside lane, takes that line away. Landry just can't do very much because that's his line. Can't get underneath the 50. It's kind of like we see, you know, it's kind of arrow blocking a little bit.
And that same thing happened into turn 3. He's getting huge runs down the back straightaway. Tyler Landry is. He seems very good in turns 1 and 2. Not necessarily as much in 3 and 4, and that's really showing here. He's going to probably close up here again. Never mind. Lopez got another good corner there. But Landry definitely has more straight line speed than Lopez, I'd say. So that's something to watch out for. And we're going to have pit stops in about 10 laps or so. Pit window is pretty short here at Kansas. even compared to some of the other mile and a halves. We will have 2 pit stops, so that will the pit crews are going to be very vital in terms of having a chance to win this thing. Want to point out, by the way, Jake Sidney has climbed up to 5th after starting outside the top 10. I believe maybe even outside the top 15, but that 19 has been flying as of late. And more action going on here. George Bryan has had a very solid and consistent season. I don't think he's finished outside the top 20 yet, but he doesn't have too many finishes inside the top 10. He's just been kind of getting the results as he needs them. Right now, he's currently running in, well, he's trying to take 7th away from the 32. Zach Dearman started all the way out in the back, but he's called the closer for a reason, and he has rapidly found himself up towards the top 10. So a lot of speed in this 18, and also watch out for the 15 of Buchanan, who also started out back, and the 45 of James Harvin. Great start to the race for all 3 of them, considering they all started out back. But these top 3 are still...
There's been a lot of shuffling since the start, and Jake Sidney has moved up quite a bit, up to 4th place now, just got around Boyd. That 19 car might be one to watch too if those 3 at the front can't really make that much time. If this 19 has enough to get up to those 3, that could be something to watch.
Yeah, I think it's going to come down to, I think pit road's going to be a big factor in this, but this 19 and the 18 both looking very fast. Those are both Hudson Motorsports cars. 32 pulling a block on the 99 there. As they race each other for P6, Kate Summers will get the spot away from the Columbia Motorsports trio here. The 99, 39, and 79. And then not too far back, you got the 29. So all 4 of the Columbia cars inside the top 11 right now. Great run for that team. They're leading the constructors standing. Yeah, it could be top 10 right here as the 29 gets past the 3 of Bryan. They are leading the constructors right now. Oh, Boyd is around!
Whoa!
That's a big crash. Oh, and his teammate collides. Barry's upside down. And they're still colliding. Big crash in turn 2. Gino's involved. Tajima. Ashley Blake, or no, that's Ben Tachenko. Shauna Everett. Oh my goodness.
Well,
Joanna Clark. Billy Smith, Lori Jackson, and more.
That is not what anybody wanted to see, I don't think.
Cooper Spur. It happened up ahead of them. Summers with a lot of damage on the 32.
A lot of these may be day ending or, at the very least, day ruining.
I think the 77 was the first one to go around. JT Boyd, he was up in the top 5 looking for a really good run, and something happened in turn 1 that we didn't see, and lots of cars piled in. And here we go. Here comes our first set of pit stops. That's a lot of drivers that needed good runs today that got swept up in that.
Oh yeah, and Boyd was running with Jake Sidney right before all that happened, so I'm not sure if they may have made contact or if something just happened to Boyd's car.
Lori Jackson was already in the pits the previous lap, so
I was gonna say
looks like Jacob Lopez will win the race off pit road, but Herndon,
really
Sydney,
slow for Landry.
Chanot, and yeah, Landry had a very slow stop. He's going to be behind Harvin, Buchanan, and Blake. Alnita Kim also not the fastest of pit stops there. Kate Summers is still trying to stay in the race, but she's missing a few fenders on that Lyft Toyota.
Might as well just try to get some points. I mean, it's crucial to get points, especially with the new format.
Yeah, Summers is 3rd in points right now. She's at a feast or famine season. She's either finishing top 5 or finishing outside the top 20. It's looking like another one of those outside the top 20 days for Summers. But that was a massive crash in turns 1 and 2 to bring out the first caution of the day. We will show you probably multiple replays, several replays of what happened, and we'll get you back to the restart here at the Kansas Speedway. Going into turn number 1, JT Boyd suddenly slows down and a tire went down on the 77 going into turn number 1 at the worst possible point. Summers and Tajima run into him. Tajima goes into the wall, and it's on from there. Several cars, George Bryan, Ashley Blake, you see right there, making evasive maneuvers and getting past the crash. Unfortunately, Holly Martin and Tim Berry weren't as lucky. Jack Gino sends over the one of Berry. Joanna Clark piles in. Lori Jackson and Cooper Spur will pile in as the one car flips and then tips Holly Martin over. Hard hit for the 57 as well there, but Martin does one revolution, lands back on her wheels. Berry with some tumbling down the banking in turn number 2. A violent accident. Multiple cars getting heavy damage in that one. And Berry going upside down, and he was finally putting together some good runs. He had a 4th place finish at Phoenix, but it's going to be another bad day for Tim Berry. Both of the NH Motorsports cars are going to be out of the race. Akiya Tajima was having a good day. He's going to be out of the race. And several others will also be heading to the garage after that big pileup in turns 1 and 2.
JT Boyd right behind Jake Sidney, and something goes awry on that car, and everybody just stacks up. Martin gets in. There's Tim Berry going up and over and kick flipping the 27. Just everybody gets stacked up just because the track kind of got a little bit blocked by where Boyd was. Very unfortunate way for it to end for all these drivers.
Welcome back here at Kansas Speedway. Wrapping up our first caution of the day caused by a massive pileup in turns 1 and 2. And there you see the laundry list of cars, 9 cars in total that are now out of the race, including some drivers that are very high up in points, but the majority of them were drivers that were just below 20th in points that were desperately needing a good run. So that was a very unfortunate break for them. Lori Jackson, who was also in the crash, is starting 1 lap down on the inside, but Jacob Lopez is still leading the pack here at Kansas, and we are back racing here on this restart. Lakin Herndon is all over the back bumper, and he's going to try and make a move on the restart to get the lead back.
I was going to say, I thought Lopez might have wanted to hope that that Lori Jackson got out of the way, but it seems like it doesn't really matter because he's just lost the lead to Herndon.
Jake Sidney got very sideways in turn 3, maybe a bit of contact with his teammate Zach Dearman, and he is going to lose a couple of positions to Vinny Scholes and James Harvin as a result. Oh, there's another crash. Another car upside
there's
down.
A car. Whoa,
It's
Summers went into the catch fence, I think.
Summers and Wheeler, another big crash. Caution is out again. That is not a sight you want to see, especially right after that last one. Racing back to the caution, Herndon will be the leader. Man. Kansas sure is claiming some victims tonight, isn't it?
Yeah, that's unfortunately sometimes what you expect from Kansas.
I mean, we've had some decent-sized wrecks here at Kansas, but these ones have definitely been bigger than we're a bit used to here in LSCI, but hopefully they're okay. That looked like a big collision, especially with Summers appearing to get into the catch fence there, but second caution of the day, and you know the old saying, cautions breed cautions, and especially with those damaged off-the-pace cars from the previous accident, like the speed difference kind of causes more danger of a yellow, and that's exactly what happened. There is one driver that liked seeing that caution, and it's the 6 of Lori Jackson, because she's going to get back on the lead lap now.
Did she get the free pass?
She did get the free pass. She was the only car 1 lap down.
Oh, okay.
Looks like Simon
she
Lawrenson. Lawrenson came into the pits at some point. I'm not sure why, but I did see him leaving the pits on the restart.
Say, I saw him leaving as they went to green.
Well, we're going to show you a replay of what happened there to Kate Summers and Adrian Wheeler. Both cars going upside down and landing right next to each other on their roofs. And then we'll get back to the restart once again here at the Kansas Speedway. Well, here is the second caution of the day. Adrian Wheeler slides up the track into Lori Jackson, who was slow on the restart, but Wheeler definitely could have avoided that. Summers definitely could not have avoided getting sideswiped there. She gets turned backwards. And here comes the 58, hard into the side of the 32, knocks her upside down into the wall. It looked like she might have gotten into the fence, but she did not. Goes over the 58, and then the 40, who was already upside down, gets knocked into by the 32, and they both come to rest on the front stretch on their roof. Fortunately, Kate Summers and Adrian Wheeler are okay after the accident. That accident looked a lot worse than it was from our initial viewpoint, so we were a bit worried about Summers in particular, but both drivers are okay, and it appears to not... they've gone to the infield care center, but it doesn't appear that there's much concern with those two.
It's Adrian Wheeler and Lori Jackson make contact. Wheeler gets into Summers, slides across the grass, and backs up, and the car just flips over, I guess, on the banking. Just a bit of an odd one there for Wheeler, and obviously we saw what happened with Kate Summers, so very fortunate that it wasn't as bad as I initially feared it was. So we'll be back with the restart.
Welcome back here at the Kansas Speedway. You just saw what happened to Kate Summers, Adrian Wheeler, and Joanna Clark. Those were the three cars involved in the accident. All three out of the race. Still have one lap car, Simon Lawrenson, who is 2 laps down after having to make an unscheduled pit stop. Still not sure what went wrong on that car, but he will be starting on the inside here on this restart. We're just about halfway through, just a few laps short. Lakin Herndon took the lead on the restart. Jacob Lopez is going to be looking to do the same. And then it is Chanot, the 18 of Dearman, and the 62 of Vinnie Scholes, who will be your top 5 headed to the restart.
That was the luckiest restart Herndon could have gotten, because Lawrenson didn't accelerate fast enough to get in the way of Herndon into turn 1, but still blocked the path of the 50, and now that may end up leading to Chanot making a move on Lopez if the 10 clears up enough, but they are going almost
Sydney
4 wide.
Again. Sydney has been having a rough time on these restarts. He is falling even further back. And Lawrenson is definitely up to pace, at least compared to where the 6 was when she was restarting on the inside. Maybe not having the same raw speed as them, but definitely not going to be a damaged car. But he is still getting in the way of Jacob Lopez. Oh, Lopez is going to split him 3 wide, and there he goes into second place. But that gave Herndon enough time to build up a pretty big gap. Chanot, Scholes, and now Alnita Kim flying onto the inside of the 62. Tried to get up to the 29, couldn't quite get there. James Harvin in tow, going to also try and get past Vinnie Scholes. And how about Karina Willis-Callaway sneaking her way up into the top 10?
And there's Tyler Landry trying to
out.
recover, as there's a car. They're almost... I thought they were going
Hollenbeck
5 wide. That's going to be dangerous.
By Jake Sidney. Is there enough room for the 4 wide? I don't think there is. Someone's going to have to back out, and there they go.
Nobody does.
Oh, Blake up into the air, and she's upside down. McCarron involved as well. The 3rd caution of the day. Boy, I haven't seen a day like this in LSCI ever. Right at halfway, caution number 3.
I guess I'm just a curse for this track, because in the Wawa Cup race here, they'd never had a caution here, and as soon as I stepped in the booth, they had 2, and now they're just going all over the place here.
We've had 4 cars go upside down in this race, at least.
4 cars that we've seen.
I might have seen, I think the 27 also went over in that first crash, but it was very quick and brief. But We're only halfway through. Well, they're gonna take advantage of that and come in to take some tires, but
Would
Kansas
this be
is
the
always.
last stop?
I think they're still gonna have to pit because they were gonna. They usually pit around lap 26 or so on a full run, so
26,
this
and
is
this is
gonna
36, so...
cut it pretty close. But if we keep getting cautions, then they might be fine.
This is pretty close, yeah.
Well, Simon Lawrence will be getting one of his laps back, so that's good news for the 10 car. Herndon will win the race off of pit road, and then Lopez and Chenot. It looks like
I
Chenot
think
will beat
Chenot
him
got it.
there. Then it will be Lopez, Harvin, Kim rounding out the top 5. Cooper Spur was in that first crash, and now he's found himself in the top 10. Cassidy Jones is having a solid run so far, just by staying out of the chaos.
Yeah. Well, that seems to kind of be her thing.
Oh. Something wrong for 39? No, he was running
No,
low.
think
I was
just...
worried that maybe he had a mechanical issue, but he was just down there. But, man, this has been a brutal, brutal race so far. Several hard crashes, mostly on the front stretch in turn 1. We're going to show you the replay of what happened there to Ashley Blake. And then we'll get you back to the restart here at the Kansas Speedway. Third caution of the day is caused by 4 wide. Kobe Hollenbeck, Jake Sidney, Damon Kirby, and Ashley Blake. And there is just not room for that here at Kansas, but they actually make it almost the whole way down the front stretch. But the bottom 3 cars in that all cross paths on the exit of the tri-oval. And they sweep McCarran into it as well. McCarran into the back of Ashley Blake, and look at that. Up into the air, hits the safer barrier, which sends her back down on the track, and she rolls twice over and then lands back on the wheels. So unfortunate there for Ashley Blake, who barely missed both of the prior accidents, but she gets involved in that. That's going to be day done for Charlie McCarran as well. That driver currently inside the top 10 in points, so that is definitely not something that she needed. But another violent crash here at the Kansas Speedway.
It's 4 wide down the front straightaway at Kansas Speedway, and it ends, well, exactly how you think it would end. Just 3 cars all trying to cram for the same space at the same point. Ashley Blake kind of just pirouettes on her nose there for a good bit while against the wall. Slides back out. Luckily, nobody else was behind these cars to run into them. Otherwise, it could have been really bad. But we'll be having another restart here very shortly. A lot of crashes.
Welcome back here at the Kansas Speedway, wrapping up caution number 3 of the evening, and it has been unfortunately not a kind of race that we want to see here, but Lakin Herndon and JB Chenot have a Columbia Motorsports 1-2 right now, and then it's a couple MRV cars, Lopez and James Harvin behind them. Alnita Kim will round out the top 5 in another Columbia car. But pace car is off. We're going to be back green here on lap number 38. Herndon is on the gas, and a good restart from the 39 car.
There goes Kim to the inside. They're going 3 wide already, and Kim is trying to make up positions. Trying to make it a Columbia 1-2-3.
You'd think with the accidents that we've seen in this race already, they'd maybe be a little bit less aggressive, but they're still going 3 wide through turns 3 and 4. The 41 and 24 washing up the track. Cassidy Jones is going to gain some spots on the inside in the 5 car. Oh, that's going to be tight on the front stretch, but the 18 and 66 do not get into each other. And for the race lead, here comes JB Chenot to the inside of Lakin Herndon. She's going to bring Alnita Kim with her. It is a Columbia 1-2-3, but Nathan Buchanan's going to try and spoil the party for Patriot Racing Inc. Trying to chase that 79, the fellow rookie, and his main rival for the championship last year in amateurs, and now they're racing each other for second in the Cup Series while Chenot tries to drive away. Side by side behind as well as James Harvin tries to get by Lopez, but a lot of momentum on the outside. I tell you what, though, this 5-car Cassidy Jones is absolutely flying. She's about to move up into P6. The only other time this 5 was on the track was at Atlanta, and Ellie Adams, she led a bunch of laps in that race, ended up finishing in the top 10, so this 5-car has definitely got some speed under it. Jones now left on the outside lane, trying to fend for herself. And we got
Kim's
a
going for
slide
a second
job there
again.
in turn 1. But the 15 has a good run off the corner.
Kim's going for a second again, and she might get it this time.
Yeah, she's clear of Buchanan,
Here
and
comes
Jacob
Lopez.
Lopez took advantage of that to get up to third, and he's still got a big run going into turn 1. Will he have enough to make a move? Yes, he will.
Yes.
Trying to get back to the lead. Lopez dominated the first stint of the race. He's underneath the 79 of Kim for P2. And your last 2 race winners, 3 of your last 4 race winners are in the top 3 right now. Kim and Buchanan back side by side with Herndon right behind in 5th. And then it's a gap back to 6th where James Harvin and Vinny Scholes are battling for position. Kevin DuPont, haven't really mentioned his name all day, but he has snuck into the top 10. Close moment there between him and the 5. But DuPont has had an eventful season for all the wrong reasons, so this is the kind of run that he's needed. But he's got that 45 in his windshield. These two have gotten into it several times this year, so, you know, that's the last guy I'd want in my mirror if I were the 45 car, but gotta keep an eye on these two. But I feel like given what's already happened today, I think they're probably just gonna bury the hatchet for now.
I was gonna say, it's like, with all the calamity we've seen today, I'm surprised that these two were involved in none of it.
Yeah, absolutely. That 5-car had a terrible turn, too, and that backed up everyone behind her. That's going to allow Harvin to clear the whole pack. Almost got the 98 to do it. Back up front, the 50 has closed in on the back of the 29. 15 and 79 still side by side. These two have been fighting each other ever since the restart, so this has been fun to watch for sure. The 39 is going to go underneath, try and take 4th away from him. Vinny Scholes trying to close in to try and join this group of 5. But this battle for the win is definitely not over, but we got to keep in mind, and this is also something that's happened a lot this season, a possible late pit cycle to end this race has caused some crazy winners already. The
Here comes
79
Kim!
With an incredible move to the inside of her teammate. That was very aggressive, almost into the quarter panel of the 29, and now they're side by side for the race lead.
I do not know how she got in there without taking the 29 out of the race. That was a crazy send.
The
Almost too
29's
crazy.
rolling the top, but the 79 stays low. 39 goes to the inside of Jacob Lopez, but Lopez has a good run out of turn 2, but he's got nowhere to go as they are side by side in front of him. He's going to try and push the 29. Now he goes low to try and push the 79. And they are all catching up to them as well. Here comes the 62, and here comes the 45. This is about to be a 7-car battle for the lead as the teammates continue to fight side by side. Herndon puts a block on the 15. The 62 thought about making it 3 wide, but she stays behind Buchanan. This is some great stuff up here at the front. Buchanan peaking for 2nd now underneath the 29, but the 29 stays clear as they continue to fight. Side by side for 5th between Lopez and Scholes, and here comes Chanot, trying the same move that Kim pulled on her, but had to check up a lot more on the bottom, and the 79 will keep the lead.
Chanot went for it, but I think Kim was ready for it.
Oh, Buchanan!
Whoa! Schultz
Slides up the track.
Schultz just sideswiped Buchanan almost into the 39 of Herndon.
They're 3 wide here. Herndon is going to back out. And here comes Chanot again to the inside. And Schultz now joins the battle in P3.
Has Schultz ever won an LSCI race?
Never. She's attempted all 103 races and has never gone to victory lane. That was a bad corner, though, and she's about to lose third to Jacob Lopez, but she has time. There's still about 16 laps to go, 17 laps to go in this race. This is far from over. But the teammates are trying to pull away, the 79 and the 29. But they have shown each other no mercy. They have been going at it for the last 5 or 10 laps. I'm sure Chanot is going to have another opportunity to try and pass the 79, but Kim has been really good at rolling the top when Chanot tries the ascent. Here she comes. She's rearing up another run. She's going to try and get her before they get into the corner, side by side through the tri-oval.
Advantage Chanot now. She's going to be further ahead going into the corner. That's
Kim
where
washes
Kim has
up.
been able to manage to stay ahead of the 29 just because she was further ahead going into the corner.
Crossover.
There she goes. She's got the outside run, though, and she's going to try to take it right back to the 29. But again, now it's advantage Chanot still.
Yeah, those runs off the outside are getting a little bit better once the tires wear out a little bit more. And now Vinny Scholes and Jacob Lopez are to the inside of Alnita Kim. The momentum has swung in the 29's favor, but Scholes is closing up to the back of the 29. She's got a heck of a run coming out of turn 2. Looked like she was going to try and make the move, but she checked up too much. And that'll give Kim another opportunity, but Scholes shuts the door on her. Closing in on this battle, 3 of George Bryan, the 92 of Adrian Pearson, another driver looking for her first career win. This 92 car has been fast no matter who's been in it. And here comes Scholes for the race lead on the inside of JB Chanot.
She finally got the opportunity to make that move. She had to check up off turn 2 because she had too big of a run going through the corner. Now she'll take it, but for how long? Because the 50 is approaching.
Jacob Lopez, last week's winner, trying to go 2 in a row. Nobody had gone 2 in a row in the Cup Series until Corbin Taps did it to start the year. Lopez trying to be the second to do it and get his 9th career win in LSCI, extending that all-time mark. Almost contact, maybe no, there was contact between Buchanan and the 79 of Kim, and Kim is going to fall even further back. That 79 is fading as the run goes on. And that might be an unfortunate break there for Alnita Kim, but we still have to wonder if these cars can make it to the end. It's Scholes, Chanot, and Lopez. The top 3 right now, they pulled ahead of Buchanan, but we've seen them pull away and then accordion back, and then pull away and accordion back multiple times already. So I don't think any of these drivers back here are out of it just yet either. Even going back to maybe the 66 and the 5, maybe the 98, but we'll see how this plays out. Chanot to the top. Lopez trying to go underneath, but Chanot looks like she'll hang on for now as Scholes attempts to pull away as we've got 10 laps to go here at Kansas.
And I'm pretty sure, I don't think they have enough fuel to make it. I don't know for sure, but I don't think they do. The more that Lopez and Chanot battle, the more beneficial this will be for that 62, because if these two keep running side by side, they're battling each other and losing time to Vinny.
All over the back bumper.
Almost on the back bumper of the 29. I thought Lopez might have given the 29 a little tap there, but the top 4 are within a second right now. Top 5, excuse me, because Kim's come right back again.
Man, you cannot keep her down for long. That 79 is flying. We saw her drop all the way back to about 8th or 9th, and she's already back up to 4th, trying to challenge for 3rd. She's in a great rhythm right now. The 50 will get in the way, though, so she won't quite be able to get past, but the 50 also didn't have a great exit, so she's going to peek the nose underneath again, and there's just enough room for her to try and take P3. Some excellent racing here at the front of the pack, and this is definitely well needed after how the first half of this race went. Chanot is trying to pull up to the back of Vinny Scholes. She ended her long winless drought at COTA 2 weeks ago. Now she's trying to double up here on the season, but Vinny Scholes, we know how badly she wants this win. She's gone so long.
Jackson.
Oh, Laurie Jackson in the pits.
Yep.
And Jake Sidney. So some of the damaged cars are coming in. We'll have to see if maybe that
a few laps. They typically pit a few laps before I think I might have mistaken Jackson for Sydney for
Yeah,
Jackson.
Jackson
but,
is on the track right now.
But typically the damage cars will come in before they know the front runners will come in, just to keep a little bit of time here. So I would not be surprised if we see some of these cars come down pit road, but it may be more fuel mileage.
We have seen this multiple times in both amateurs and cup. That's how the 100th race ended. Scholes ended up getting second because she saved enough fuel, but she was one spot short to Paula Sasequa. Lopez is coming
Lopez is in.
And honestly,
I
I don't
believe
think
Kim
any
is
of
in
these...
as well.
Yeah, Kim and Buchanan are in. Honestly, I don't think any of these cars are actually going to be able to make it from here. There's 5 laps to go. There's just no way they save enough fuel. So this might cycle out all the way, and this is going to be a very crucial pit sequence. Scholes is staying out. Chanot and Bryan are still out there. So is Herndon. And here comes Scholes.
I believe Schultz is in.
Most of the leaders,
I think everybody else is in here.
So we will have a complete cycle here. This will not be down to fuel mileage. This is a late pit sequence. But I like those cars that pitted later. They're not going to have to put as much fuel in the car. Lopez will be the first out in that first group. Buchanan and Kim still fighting each other, leaving the pit lane. But we got to keep an eye on that 62 of Vinny Scholes. The 45 is already done with his pit stop. And a slow stop for Vinny Scholes. That might cost her. JB Chanot is going to leapfrog her in the pits, but they're still side by side.
Side by
Scholes is
side.
fighting back.
She's got the inside, but I don't know if that's the
Chanot
advantage lane.
is going to get the lead, but Scholes will be right there. And here's Lopez up to speed.
Are they going to get out before the 50? They are not.
He's going to blow by them both.
And so is the 15 and 79.
Second. So I said I like the cars that pitted later, but they're actually going to fall behind on that strategy, and there's only 3 laps to go. Lopez has caught a lap car, though, and here comes Buchanan.
He's stuck.
He's going to get held up by the lap car, too, and that might bring these 3 back into it. But Jacob Lopez trying to go 2 in a row here at Kansas, trying to get his second win at this racetrack, but it is not over yet. Buchanan and Kim are there. Kim is trying to get her 4th podium in 5 races. Unbelievable pace for that 79. 2 laps to go here at Kansas, and they're fighting each other for second.
I don't know if Kim has enough time to get to the lead, but she'll at least get second if she can hold the 15 behind her, and I think that is a true testament to how fast this car is. She's been shuffled back a lot of this day, and she's still managed to get her way back up to the front several times. But I think this is Lopez's race to lose.
Coming out of turn number 4, the white flag is in the air. 1 lap
Buchanan,
to go.
huge run.
Buchanan has a huge run out of turn number 4. He's going to get to the inside of the 50 of Jacob Lopez. Lopez is going to try and hold off on the outside. They're side by side. Lopez trying to get that advantage, but Buchanan still ahead on the inside lane down the backstretch. Coming
Who's
through
Kim
3
gonna help?
and 4. Kim goes down to help Buchanan, but Lopez gets the run up on the top.
On the high side, it's going to be a...
back to the finish line. Jacob Lopez is going
Oh,
to
Lopez!
Kansas. 7/1000ths of a second, and it's the closest finish in LSCI history at Kansas. Oh my goodness. Can you believe it?
For all the drama that we saw, we just had to throw in just a little bit more, huh?
Absolutely. The previous record was 8/1000ths of a second. That was Adrian Wheeler over Isabella Fitzmaurice at Talladega last year, and it's another Motor Racing Ventures car winning out in a close finish. That run off the outside is what did it. And Nathan Buchanan, heartbreak for him as his first career win was oh so close. And Patriot Racing again was also second in that other finish. I believe now their second place total is up to 9 since their last win as a team.
How about George Bryan finishing 5th, by the way?
He came out of nowhere. I mean, he was kind
of... outstanding.
He was kind of lurking around the top 10 for most of that race, but 5th place is definitely great. Well, here is your finishing order. The closest finish in LSCI history. And again, like you said, after everything that happened in this race, we needed something good to cap it off. And we had an excellent final run of this race. That was some of the best racing I have ever seen. And 7/1000ths of a second was the difference at the line. We will have replays of that finish, of course, but let's go ahead and look at your final results. Kim Scholes, I mean, that's another heartbreak for Vinny Scholes. She had the lead going into that cycle, but was not on the right strategy, pitted 1 lap too late. Still, though, top 5, great run for the 62. JB Chanot, heartbreak for her as well. She was also up there. Harvin, Landry, Fearson gets another top 10. That's 3 of them in as many starts for Adrienne Fearson. I kind of thought that she was just kind of better suited off as a part-time driver because when you look at where she was at full-time in season 2 and season 4 compared to what she did in season 3 when she was a part-timer, she was a lot better. So that's proving to be the case. And Cassidy Jones getting a top 10 in her first start of the year at her home track. That's a great run for the 5-car for sure. Zach Dearman, Lakin Herndon, Kevin DuPont finishing just outside the top 10. Corbin Taps was second in points. He was really nowhere all day, but he finished 16th by avoiding all of the craziness. 19 cars on the lead lap, 22 cars finished the race, and here is your long list of retirements from this race. 3 massive accidents in this one, taking out a large swath of the field. But Echo, final thoughts on this race? There's definitely a lot to unpack from this one.
On one point, you can deride everyone for their over-aggressiveness, but on the other point, 5 cars finished within a second of the lead, and we had a 7/1000th of a second finish, closest in history in this series, so I don't really know what to say other than it was a race that had 2 identities, really. You had that middle of the race stretch where they just couldn't stop crashing, and then you had kind of the beginning and then the end where it was just all out pure racing. Really fun race. Provided nothing terrible has happened, I look forward to this track being back on the schedule in years future. But again, providing nothing terrible has happened here.
Yeah, and we'll provide you with updates on any of the drivers if needed after the race once we get them. But yeah, that was an incredible race. If you take out the accidents, you know, that final stretch again was some of the best racing I've ever seen. Constant swapping for the race lead. You had some crazy crossovers, some big dive bombs into the corner, and a photo finish to cap it all off. There really isn't more that I could have asked for. It's unfortunate that it was marred by some big accidents towards the middle of the race, but that was still a fun one for sure, despite all of that. Congratulations to Jacob Lopez on win number 9. He extends that all-time lead. I'm pretty sure the next closest has 5, so he is mounting a considerable lead in that all-time wins list, approaching win number 10. His second win in a row as well, and he actually got off to a pretty terrible start this year. His first 4 races, his best finish was 18th, but the last 3 he's finished 7th, 1st, and 1st, and he's definitely inserted himself into the championship conversation now with the 2 wins for certain. And it's heartbreak for Nathan Buchanan, but you know he's going to get more chances for sure. He has been very fast in his own right this year. He too has not finished outside the top 20 all season. Much like his teammate George Bryan, Patriot Racing as a whole has been very good this year. But that's going to do it for today's broadcast. Again, congratulations to the 50 car of Jacob Lopez and Motor Racing Ventures on their 2nd consecutive win. Next week, it's not going to get any less. It's not going to get any less crazy because we're going to Hillside next week, and we know what happened last year with the 26 car pileup. Hopefully that doesn't happen again, especially after what we saw today. but Hillside's definitely going to be a crazy one for sure. Thank you guys for all tuning in, and thank you to Echo Evans Frost for joining me up in the booth. And on behalf of Echo, this is Brennan Wilmington from the Left Turn Network, signing out. Here are your point standings after race number 7 of 30, which will be on your screen right now.